First day going back to work. 5.5 weeks I've been off. Doctor yesterday. Very pleased with my progress. He says it's healed up really well on the back. Explained a little bit more of what was actually done inside, because I was asking about like the recovery process and that sort of stuff. He said I don't need to wear my neck brace sleeping. He said it's probably still a good idea when you're getting around, like maybe have it off while watching TV and all that sort of stuff a bit more. Start trying to strengthen the muscles back up in the neck. They had to cut the muscles at the back of my neck away from the spine so that they could get into the spine. And then they had to basically stitch them back. 5 down to 7 because they were working 5, 6, 6, 7 joints. When he spoke to me after surgery, so it was like a couple of days after surgery, I was still a little bit out of it. The ligament in between my 4th and 5th vertebrae, it was detached. And he said obviously from like an accident or an injury a long time ago, so that goes back to a really bad bike crash I had. He said you obviously just tore the ligament, nothing got done about it, and it basically shrunk back from where it was supposed to be. They did try to pull it down a bit and re-stitch it, but he said I don't like its chances of because like ligaments need blood flow and they don't get a lot of blood flow, so it's been re-stitched with it all sort of reattached, so they could explain a bit more of the swelling higher up in my neck that I could sort of feel. That's the reason why I had the weight restrictions on lifting, and I asked him about returning to work, and he was kind of querying why I wanted to return, and questioning whether work was supportive or not of my recovery, not wanting to let me have the time off. And I said no, they're okay with it, and they've been allowing me to work from home, so I'm not using up sick leave. I said, but I'm a high school teacher. I teach construction, industrial arts, and like I really feel like my kids are missing out. And I meant like I've got my Year 12 class. Anyway, he can totally understand. He said, well, you'd be able to sort of manage your position in the room, wouldn't you, so that you didn't have to do things. Kids are generally pretty good. I've definitely got some good kids in the class who will carry things, get things, all of that sort of stuff. He said it was okay. He said, but take it easy, because he said you really need to be taking it easy and taking care of your neck for at least a few more months. So returning for the sake of the students. If I could teach practical work remotely, I would. But I'm also concerned that some of the students who aren't more self-motivated aren't getting theory work done. If I'm there, we can get them through. There's not much time left with Year 12 though. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it before, how he did say when he looked at my scans pre-surgery and confirmed it when he was in there, that the front of all of my discs have kind of collapsed, desiccating or whatever, and so my neck tilts forward. And I know my wife had often said that to me, like she said, you've got a bad posture, blah blah blah. I asked him about exercise. He said, try doing things to correct your posture. The posture brace that my wife bought me before, which I discovered was good for when I'm sitting at a desk, but when I was in the workshop I couldn't wear it because it was too tight on my shoulders. Well, now I'm not supposed to be doing any major lifting or moving. It'll be a good thing to wear. And today is a good day. My wife said maybe you should go back, like just go back a half day, don't overdo it. So I checked my timetable, and this is that Wednesday where I only have one class in the afternoon, Year 11. So I'll be able to spend the morning doing some of those face-to-face meetings that I've been needing to have with other exec about the timetable. Closed the timetable site this morning because it was meant to close last night and I forgot. Work on that for part of the day. I'm lucky as a teacher that I do have the leave entitlement that I've had. especially having built up a lot of sick leave over my 20-something years. Unlike an office job where they might be able to just get an office temp in to do your work, yes, there's other teachers that can be employed, but in specialist areas like mine and sciences, art, music, unless you've got a specialist trained teacher, the kids just can't do prac. My kids have not had prac. And it's a practical subject. 70 to 75% of the work is practical. How am I supposed to assess the kids' progress if they can't even be in the room? It's one of those jobs where I can't work remotely. Well, I can, but not as successfully. If I was able to get my whole class on for a Teams meeting on video or whatever, and you could do interactive theory work and lecture work and that sort of stuff, that'd be great. There's a lot of kids in my school that don't have reliable internet access at home. Another one of the reasons why so many teachers go to work sick. It's only COVID that has really stopped that. Like, if you've got any sort of symptoms, you've got to go and get tested, and if you're okay, then you can come back, but you've got to wait for the results to come in. It's a sort of job that I definitely miss when I do get to that stage where I can retire, but it's really tough to take time off, especially extended time off. First day back in the room, just had year 12, and really trying to work out how we're going to get them through to the end of the year, because there's not that long to go. But we're gonna do our best, and the kids they're keen because they know they've got to do it. Hear that power washer in the background? That's one of my kids doing his work placement with our general assistant. That's compulsory. There's not much prac that we're going to be able to be left to do. They've just got to finish one of these, and I've got a year 11 a bit later today. I think period 3. So I'll bring them over here as well and try and see how we can get refocused, because this has been really tough on them, but I know it's been really tough on me too. This room is exactly how I left it at the end of last term, so nobody's been in here since then. One of my staff got a sawmill out while I was away and got all these logs that we've had around the place chopped up. They've slabbed some and made kind of billets of other pieces. So these have been sitting around here for years, so they'll have a bit of moisture, but we'll need to check them, I think. Oh, that's a nice slab there. Just had year 9. They were a little shocked that I was here. They went to the theory room, weren't sure what was going on. Came down to the workshop. Half of them couldn't remember what we were doing because it's been so long. For some reason, a lot of the jobs have disappeared too, so we had to prepare some new timber for them to start again. Some kids found their parts. A little unsettled because they didn't know what to do. They've been out of here for so long. It was good to be back here. They were all curious. They were really concerned about me. Made it to the end of the working week. Well, half of a week anyway. Year 11 construction was pretty full on. Just trying to get them up to date with things.
My year 11 timber class, they have missed so much prac with me being away. So I had one girl who was like so close to getting her job finished at the end of last term, and I'd given them an extension and then wasn't here. But got the router sled setup that I made. This was some old aluminium tracks from some of these doors and stuff around the school. And we're making just a little flat section on her turned legs. So there's a flat part for her rails and back and everything like that to be attached onto, and they'll be attached dominoes. So we got that set up, and I've got them on Monday, so we've just left this set up ready to go. It's all nice and firm and solid. Locking up to go home. This has been harder than I thought, trying to be back at work and not be sore. So, but the kids have been really helpful, like the year 11 kids for timber. You don't realise how heavy a router is in a box. Like, there's its box, and I had to say to them, like, can you get that out of the cupboard, because I'm not supposed to lift it. And they grab it, and then they went, oh, it's heavier than we thought. It's good to be back.